Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to my second end of year list, and today we are focusing on the top 10 worst films of 2018. And oh my god, there's been some stinkers this year, absolute stinkers. There's many that I didn't put on here that will be getting a bit of a special mention, but a particular bad bunch of top 10 films this year, guys. So I hope you enjoy this list. So the first dishonourable mention is the Netflix film How It Ends. Ironically, a film that has no ending, and it is a bit of a snooze bore fest of a film that is supposed to focus on this apocalyptic end of world thing that is just basically a terrible road trip movie with no ending, and it isn't very good at all. Another dishonourable mention is the so-called horror film I Still See You, a terribly tame teen horror film that is not interesting at all. It's got some interesting ideas that are completely and utterly ruined, and it's got plot holes that you could drive double-decker buses through. Another one of those Bella Thorne films to avoid, unfortunately. The last dishonourable mention is Deep Blue Sea 2. Not an awful film, but it's a film that did not need to be made. It is basically a remake of the first Deep Blue Sea, and you aren't going to top that film. It's cheesy, corny heaven is that film, and it's a guilty pleasure for most people, and they don't do anything different with the sequel. They basically remake the first one. Avoid it. So coming in at number 10 on my list is another Netflix film, The Open House, that was released earlier this year. Oh my god, this film is bad, with arguably the worst ending I've seen in a movie for many years. It will make you want to put your foot through the screen. The ending's that bad. Awful. It's just about a film about a boiler getting repaired constantly. Not really a surprise here. Every time there's a big budget film comes out, there's usually a cheaper version released, and this is basically the cheap version of Tomb Raider, and it's called Tomb Invader. Guess what, guys? It's complete twaddle and utter rubbish. And there's not really an awful lot I can say about this film, other than if you want to have a laugh, crack open a few beers and watch it. Other than that, seriously avoid it. Coming in at number 8, Truth or Dare. Not just the absolute pits of a film that everyone was making out, but make no mistake, this is a bad film that is full of really stupid decisions and treats the audience member like an imbecile. But there are a couple of fun moments in it, but it's a really poor film. Number 7, UFO. This is the most boring film I've seen all year. Hands down. It's basically just a maths test, is this film. It's a kid doing maths throughout the film. You don't see any UFOs until the last 30 seconds of the film, basically. It's an absolute snooze fest. Seriously avoid this film. I hated it with a passion. Number 6, Selfie from Hell. Another terrible horror film. With an half decent, interesting idea that is just full of every single horror trope known to man. It's not scary at all, and if you look under horror tropes in the dictionary, you'll see Selfie from Hell immediately underneath it. An awful horror film. Number 5, Escape Plan 2, Hades. Just go and watch my review on this one, guys. It's awful. Truly. I mean, the first one wasn't brilliant, but at least it was a bit of fun. This is a shoddy, awful film, and Dave Bautista, why did you agree to do it? Keep away from these movies, for goodness sake. Number 4, Speed Kills. The John Travolta biopic film about some speedboat racer who gets mixed up in the mob. It's his second film this year that absolutely sank without a trace, with Gotti being the other one. This is a shocking film, guys. Really uninteresting and really hard to watch. Number 3, This was my lowest rated review of the year, The Revenge of Robert, and the reason why it's not number one is because it's a direct-to-DVD type thing that I picked up in the supermarket. I thought it looked interesting. I was wrong. It's a shocking film. This is the worst film I've seen this year, but because it's so low budget, I didn't want to put it at number one, because there's two that are much bigger budgets that are far worse than this. But please avoid this film. It is truly awful. Number 2, Slender Man. This is one of those rare films that is as bad as they say. Easily the worst written film of the year. Makes no sense. It's not scary. Toned down, tame. But I could go on all day listing the faults with it. Basically, don't watch it. Avoid it. It's awful. And number 1, easily for me the worst film of the year, Robin Hood. And this is me pushing back to Hollywood saying, will you stop giving us utter twaddle like this? It is complete and utter rubbish, terribly written, terribly acted, terribly directed. They've just thrown a load of money at an idea and thought, ooh, people will go and watch that. Well, we won't. We're sick of it, Hollywood. We're sick of absolute rubbish like this. There's too much wrong with this film. I would literally be here all day. This film was really hard to watch, and I can't tell you how much I disliked it. All I can say is avoid it. There's nothing redeeming about it, and that isn't fun for me to say, because there's some talent involved in this film. But definitely for me, easily the worst film of 2018. So there you go, guys. Those are my top 10 worst films of 2018. And if you've seen any of those films, I think you'll agree there isn't really any good ones on that list. I think they're all equally hard to watch in their own way. The top 3 in particular, absolute stinkers in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this list. Please stay tuned to the channel, because coming up soon will be my top 10 favourite films of 2018, and also my most anticipated films of 2019, which won't be a top 10 list because there's too many films I'm looking forward to next year. So yes, guys, thank you very much for watching once again. Thank you for all your support this year in 2018. It's been a brilliant year for the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Screen Stars.